If you've read Harry Potter, you may have noticed the denominations of coins are really weird. Specifically, it's 17 sickles to a galleon and 29 knuts to a sickle. At first glance, this doesn't really make much sense, and when something doesn't make sense, people are always tempted to explain it by saying, because the author said so. But while this is technically a true answer, I don't consider it useful because it has no explanatory power. You are essentially admitting that this makes no sense, but telling people to go with it anyway. So what I would like to do in this video is explain a way that the Harry Potter coin denominations could have actually arisen naturally within the story. My theory is that no one actually decided how many sickles were in a galleon or how many knuts were in a sickle. I mean, okay, obviously J.K. Rowling decided, but I mean within the context of the story, there was no government official or goblin at Gringotts setting the values of the coin denominations. Now, to make sense of this theory, first we have to understand what money actually is and where it comes from. A lot of people believe that money comes from the government, and in our current society that's true, but this doesn't explain the origin of money. Imagine that you're in a barter economy, and the king comes out one day and suggests everyone start trading goods for pieces of paper with numbers on them. This probably wouldn't work very well. First of all, why would I accept something useless to me? Second, even if people are willing to go with it, how would anyone know how much paper to accept for whatever good they're trading? What the king is in effect trying to do is convince everyone to start measuring value in terms of some useless thing no one wants. However, we do know that money exists, so this leaves us with the problem of how we get from that initial state of barter to an economy with money. The solution to this problem is largely credited to Karl Menger, who claimed that money could originate naturally in a market economy. If we go back to considering the barter economy, we quickly realize that it has a problem. If I want something, I have to find someone who has the thing I want and is willing to give it up in exchange for something I want to trade with them. In other words, if I raise cows for milk and I want eggs, I have to find a chicken farmer who wants milk. This is fine for some people whose skills are in very high demand, but it causes a problem for a lot of others. For example, imagine being a historian who specializes in ancient Icelandic society. To find eggs, this historian would have to find a farmer with a particular interest in ancient Iceland. Economists call this the problem of the double coincidence of wants. Now, there is a workaround for the problem of the double coincidence of wants. Imagine that you are the person with milk and you want eggs. The guy with eggs doesn't want milk, but he does want a new pair of earrings for his wife. You go to the jeweler and find he wants milk, so you trade him milk for the earrings and then take the earrings and trade them for the eggs. We call the earrings in this case a medium of exchange. This works well, but is clearly inefficient, as you can see that it could very quickly turn into some kind of RPG quest where the jeweler wants a window, the glacier wants a hammer, the blacksmith wants some venison, the hunter wants a new blanket, and so on. However, people are smart. Some people might notice that there are a few goods that a large number of people want. Because they know a lot of people want these goods, they will accept them in trade, knowing they will be able to trade them for something else later. This has a snowball effect where having more people who are willing to accept a good makes holding the good more attractive to everyone else, attracting more and more people until eventually you have a medium of exchange that is widely accepted. In other words, it becomes a money. Now, how does this relate to wizard currency denominations? Well, we have three coins: gold galleons, silver sickles, and bronze knuts. Gold, silver, and bronze all have different values. The exchange rate between the three coins is actually set by the relative values of the gold, silver, and bronze contained within the coins. I believe that in some point in the past of the wizarding world, the exchange rates of galleons, sickles, and knuts were probably different. For example, it may have been 20 sickles to a galleon and 30 knuts to a sickle. However, fluctuations in the relative values of the three coins distorted the rates over time. Now, you may point out that there's no reference in the series to fluctuations in the relative values of coins, which is why I would also guess that at some point in the past either the Ministry or Gringotts artificially stepped in to stabilize the values of the coin denominations. Most likely, Gringotts been artificially manipulating the supply of galleons and sickles in circulation to keep the value approximately constant. Now, there is one gaping hole in this theory so far. According to the wiki, the galleon is the same size as the US silver eagle, and the sickle is slightly larger than the US half dollar. The silver eagle has a diameter of 40.6 millimeters and a thickness of 2.98 millimeters. This gives us a volume of 3,858 millimeters cubed, or 3.858 centimeters cubed. The density of gold is 19.32 grams per centimeter cubed, which gives us the mass of a galleon as roughly 74.5 grams. Repeating the same calculation for sickles gives us a mass of roughly 16.6 grams, and knuts have a mass of 6.17 grams. This means that a galleon is roughly 4.5 times the mass of a sickle, making the weight value of gold only 3.79 times the weight value of silver to wizards. Historically, muggles value gold at a much higher ratio over silver. To deal with this, we need to get into the characteristics of money. Now, theoretically, money can be anything. If a lot of people really like dandelions or cockroaches, you could theoretically use dandelions or cockroaches as money. In fact, the Harry Potter wiki states that ancient wizards use leaves of Niffler's fancy as money. However, there are some general trends in what the characteristics of money have been throughout history. You want money to be durable, not something that is easily breakable like glass or something that is going to rot like fruit. You want money to be portable. In other words, you don't want a money that is too heavy to carry with you to the market. Money should also be divisible. You could imagine that a chicken or a cow might lose some value if you attempted to divide them. 2 half cows is less valuable than a full cow, but 2 half grams of gold is equal in value to a gram of gold. Money should be fungible. This is a fancy word for interchangeable. So this would rule out something like diamonds, where a single large diamond is actually worth more than 4 smaller diamonds with the same total mass, or 1 cleanly cut diamond is worth more than an irregular diamond of the same mass. Basically, you want all of the pieces to be a gram is equal to a gram. Money should also be scarce enough to have significant value, while not being so scarce that almost no one has any. We can see that gold and silver are both relatively scarce, portable, and divisible. However, gold has a major advantage over silver because silver tarnishes. I think this also provides the key to why wizards value silver more than muggles. The sword of Gryffindor is stated to be fashioned from pure silver, and we also know that the sword of Gryffindor imbibes only that which makes it stronger and never requires cleaning. The sword of Gryffindor was forged by a goblin, and goblins also won the bank. While I don't believe that all sickles necessarily have the same power as the sword of Gryffindor, I don't think it's unreasonable to believe that goblins could have given sickles at least some minimal magical protection to prevent against tarnishing, thus eliminating a major reason for gold being more valuable than silver and explaining the gap. So yeah, that's how I use Harry Potter to hijack a conversation and talk about economics. Please like and subscribe, or, ignore the ratings and don't subscribe, or dislike the video and then subscribe just so you can unsubscribe, or, whatever you want to do.